Mill gave a family portrait without me at my daughter's birthday, so I kicked her out. To be clear, I do not giving a flying F if you think this is bait or not. Do not waste your time whining about it in the comments. I am still trying to figure out if I went too far or if it was just bound to happen. I'm 26F, intersex, and my husband 29M and I recently celebrated our daughter's first birthday. Due to fertility issues, we had her through a surrogate. Our close friend, Erin. Erin has been in our lives for years and is now our daughter's godmother and aunt. She is also a lesbian and in a happy relationship, which makes the rest of this feel even more absurd, but here we are. Mill has never outright said anything nasty about me, but she has had this pattern of constantly skimming past me and shining the spotlight on my husband and Erin. She was pleasant enough when my husband and I started dating, but once she found out I was intersex, she started acting strange, not cruel, just invasive and weirdly fascinated, which I am suddenly used to when people learn about this part of me. She asked me if I was technically male or female, if I had ever considered surgery to simplify things, and once even asked about how creative our intimate life is due to my condition, and that my husband shouldn't neglect his needs due to me, which my husband shut down. When we announced we would be using a surrogate, her reaction was all about Erin. She kept saying how lucky we were to have someone like her, and how it must be such a relief for my husband to have a real connection to the baby. She said things like a child should always have some kind of biological anchor, and at one point asked if I would ever feel left out. When I said no, she just smiled and said it was good that I was mature, and that she wouldn't if she had to rely on another woman to give her a child. At the gender reveal party, she gave a whole toast about motherhood, but focused completely on Erin. She threw in a line about being happy for me as the supportive partner who helped make it possible and insisted that Erin be present when my husband and I cut the cake to find out the baby's gender. I wanted to disappear into the floor. Erin was visibly uncomfortable. She has been very clear with both of us that while she is honored to have carried our child, but she has no desire to co-parent and isn't interested in being treated like anything more than a loving aunt and godmother. Since our daughter was born, Mills made a habit of pushing me to the sidelines. She tags Erin and my husband in social media, posts about the baby but never includes me. She takes candid photos of them holding the baby, and captions them like they are a little family unit with only the occasional picture, me and my husband with the baby. She keeps telling Erin how natural she looks with the baby, how she and my husband have such great chemistry when they are parenting together. Erin's told me herself that the whole thing feels like Mill is trying to script a version of reality that no one else is living in. Then came our daughter's first birthday. It was indoors thing, nothing super fancy but still special, you know? Cupcakes, a smash cake, snacks. One spent the few days prepping little decorations and favors with my husband, and for the most part, it was going fine. Mill showed up late and immediately handed me a huge gift bag, saying it was something extra special from Grandma and Erin. Erin, who was already at the party and had brought her own clearly labeled gift earlier, just stared at it like she had no idea what was inside. I opened the bag because Mill insisted I do it in front of everyone while our daughter was happily destroying the cake. Inside was a framed, custom illustration of my husband, Erin, and the baby, just the three of them, styled like a family portrait, standing in front of our house. I wasn't in it at all. She had apparently commissioned it based on photos from the baby shower and social media and acted like it was the most thoughtful gift she could have given for our daughter. There was a weird silence while everyone tried to process it. Erin looked horrified. My husband asked her, flat out, why I wasn't included. Mill gave a little shrug and said something like that she didn't mean anything by it, and she just wanted to capture the bond between who created my daughter so she could look back on it. She looked right at me and added, that of course, that I am part of my daughter's in my own special way, like I am the babysitter. I just told her she needed to leave. Right then, with my tone admittedly being a little harsh, she acted stunned, said I was blowing things out of proportion, that it was just a sweet keepsake. I told her no, it wasn't, and I said she could leave quietly or I would ask someone to walk her out. She left after that. Now my husband's siblings have been texting me like crazy about how I embarrassed her and that I could have addressed it after the party, that I ruined what should have been a happy day over a misunderstanding. My husband disagrees. He has said he is proud of me for standing up for myself, and that he should have put his foot down long ago. Erin also told me I handled it better than she would have. Still, I have been turning it over in my head ever since. I worked so hard to make that day beautiful for our daughter, and I keep wondering if kicking her out really made me just as bad, or if it was the only way to finally shut it down. Was I the asshole for sending her out the way I did?